Blessings, everyone. Shalom, family. It's been a minute. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my page. I'm just going to get right into it. I hope all is well with everybody. I've been blessed. I've been doing my best and super busy. So I'm going to get straight into the spiritual talk and the exposing that I'm about to do. I'm going to be talking about the fires in Hawaii, about the presidential election, 24 cosmic activations, Agenda 2030, fire magic, destruction, chaos magic, and ending the world on the New World Order on their terms instead of the Most High's terms. So first I'm going to be talking about Hawaii fires, because when this happened, I was just really shocked about all the people who were missing, how the fires were just very crazy and explosive. And it's just like Hawaii, you would always think like something like a volcano would erupt there and things like that. But for a fire, that was very alarming. And it's going to make a video and do some research on it. And there was a wonderful woman who I spoke to yesterday at my job, and she was actually from Hawaii, and she was telling me everything that's been going on there and still going on, and things that I didn't even know, and that the news isn't even speaking about it, because you know they always give us what they want us to know and for their own agenda, and tell us half truths and then just leave us with that and then bombard us with another crazy news story so that we have distractions and forget about what's really going on and what's really important. So I noticed that the Hawaii fires started on August 8th. And August 8th is a very powerful day, because that was the day that the Lionsgate portal mainly is open, when the activations from the cosmos comes down to the physical world, and the Orion and Sirius star system lines up with the pyramids in Cairo and pyramids of Giza, and they line up. And so the same in order as the pyramids is the same order as the star systems, and we get a lot of downloads, a lot of light codes, a lot of activations, past lives, memories, power, spirit be speaking, the Most High be speaking, revelations, and everything, especially since the pyramids are known in the Bible as being the altar of the Lord, as well as them being temples. And some of us had different past lives in Egypt and Zion. So a lot of those things, when they happen in connection with the star system, it brings a lot of upgrades, DNA upgrades for us, and those melanin or those who are spiritual can be able to tap in to certain energies and experience certain things. So they knew that was a powerful day, and so it was like an opposite of like a set of enlightenment. It was destruction because of the fires that was going on in Hawaii. And also it was 7 days after the full moon, that was on August 1st, and then it was a new moon on August 16th, 8 days after the Lionsgate portal, as well as it was in Leo season, and it was a Leo full moon. So that's how they deal with the fire energy. And for those who are religious, let's not play brainwashing and act like the scriptures don't tell us about the astronomy and astrology. In the book of Job, the Mazzaroth, where it tells how God created the different star systems and galaxies and put Orion here and the Pleiades here, which is different astrological astronomy, different star systems and starships and things like that. And also, like, astrology and astronomy is all through the New Testament, to be honest. So the Freemasons who run the world, who came and made a pact against Israel, against the true children of God, they actually use astrology, and they use the Bible, and they use it for the astrology for black magic to perform their rituals. And a lot of us are connected in with these rituals because they are doing different summoning, they doing different witchcraft in Latin, and like really like writing things down and doing different things with the elements and with the astrology and putting it into place. And so some of us are connected to those rituals, and we know what's going on, or we're even called there in the spirit. And then those who are on the land are affected because they want to have the territory, and they have a whole agenda, which I'm going to speak about later. And so they use the Bible because they're using Christianity, and they're using reverse Satanism to stay and rule, and they want to build this world on blasphemy, and also have the demons rule earth, because at the end of the book they talk about new heavens and new earth, and the new earth is forming right now. And so they want to hijack that, hijack Exodus, and hijack everything that's supposed to be going on. And these are the things that they use to do this. And so I knew that, and I wrote that down. I kept that in the forefront of my mind, and just was like, it's just crazy that all this was happening around the same time, around the Lionsgate portal. There's even a Lionsgate portal in Israel, the fake Israel over there with the different fake Jews, and or the Jewish. So it shows like the connection with everything, how it's connected, how it was originally in Egypt or in Africa, which is in Kenya, which is Zion, and then it took it to over there in the Palestinians' land and made it something like physical, and also a location that can be also connected with different parts of the world. So, you know, a lot of people was affected by this. And so if you were having a lot of intense dreaming, or you couldn't remember your dreams, that's because of all of the heavy activations that was going on. That whole week, it was in the hundreds here in Kansas, and in Missouri, and I'm like right in the heart of like the Americas. And so that vibration was vibrating out towards everybody else, and it was also like hitting straight at base. And so it was like in the hundreds, so it was really, really hot. I even got different messages from the Most High and from the Divine about the sun heating up, and a lot about the different activations and things about going on with the next big thing that happens in the world. But this woman, she was telling me that the fires are still going on in Hawaii, and I didn't even know that. Like, I knew that the fires was really crazy and they were trying to contain it, but I didn't know, like, I thought it was all gone, it was all done, and they were just now dealing with the aftermath. But she was like, no, like, some places are still burning up and it's really in a bad state there. And, you know, she was trying not to get emotional, but I could tell because I'm very empathic and I know like what people are going through, and I even had them in my prayers, so I knew it was like a serious situation, especially when I seen people really losing their homes, and they were losing their jobs because some of the homes and some of the businesses were burnt up. She said that a power line had fell, and because it fell in the trees or in the forest, then everything caught fire. And the people that were the firemen went to the location, and then they just left, and then nothing was contained. And then later on they tried to get it, you know, get it contained and get it to go out and everything like that, but nobody was told that it was a fire. None of the alarms went off. You know, when we have a tornado, there's a siren and something that goes off. Nothing was told to the people, to the residents. And so they were just, you know, it was just expanding and expanding and getting crazier and crazier, and then stuff started burning up. And she told me that people had to wait in the water for 8 hours and just like was hiding and everything that was going on. And I was just like, there was another 8, you know, and it was like, you know, triple 8s, like another 8 that was mentioned. And so I know 8 is about infinity and it's about abundance, and so they want the destruction to last a long time, to be an infinite destruction, and then as well as, you know, stealing the abundance and the earth from the chosen people, because even they told these people to get their deeds from their houses, get their deeds of their land, so they can know which land is what, who belongs to what. But people can't get to their deeds because they literally burned up in the fire at their home. So it was just like, I knew it was a plot. And she was telling me that even her dad was saying that it might be DEW, the reason why the fires was like that, because like it was crazy how the houses, and a natural fire won't burn through wood and brick and concrete and stone the way it was. And so technology is the destructive electronic weapons, I think, or something like that. I'm gonna look it up, I'm gonna put it in here. But they were saying it was kind of like might have been a laser or something, like technology that was destroying or causing the fire, because it was very abnormal.
Laser weapons can be programmed for different wavelengths. There was something blue they didn't want to burn.
Blue card did not burn in flames. Same as the blue umbrella.
So the spiritual enlightened brother was telling me today that this is the effects of Project Bluebeam, and they're going to say it was aliens that did the technology, but the celebrities and everyone with the powers that be covered their homes in certain places that were sacred to them with blue, and it was all the laser or the technology that destroys the DEW, that destroys, it cannot penetrate something that's blue. For some reason, that's the Project Bluebeam. I thought it was just like them having fake spaceships in the sky and things like that, but it's also about the laser technology that they have created with different fallen technology and different doing things with consciousness and building it in the government to destroy and attack sacred lands, to put fear in people and to control over us and over the land. And the reason why I think that this was plot planned and predicted, or the powers that be had put this into motion, because of the same day she said that they had the children stay home from school. They said they let the children stay home from school because it was going to be high winds, and it was only in the 80s. And I stay in the country ghetto, and I know that it be in the hundreds and it be super duper hot, but we never have any forest fires, we never have any wildfires, there's never any fires. And so she said that because the children was kept home from school, there is so many children missing. There are children missing. And I feel like it was a plot, just like how a lot of these different people who's in power allegedly go to different islands and have different children and doing certain acts and using different children for rituals and for sacrifices, like the Clinton presidency did in Haiti, and as well as the Epstein Island and things that were going on, different things with Hollywood and those who are in the government. So I just think that that wasn't coincidence. I don't even believe in coincidences anymore, but I was just like, I was really sad when I heard about that, and she just was like, so many children are missing. And a lot of these people in Hollywood have acres and acres of land. However, they didn't let nobody stay into their land. Even they said Oprah, she was giving out Costco pillows and blankets, and when I looked it up, I seen that she was at some shelter and she was helping people. It looked like it might have been Oprah. It could have been a clone of Oprah, but I don't know. But I know a lot of these people in Hollywood, a lot of these people in high places are into those different trafficking and pedophile rings, and they also have a lot of land in different places to escape judgment or escape jail time in the U.S. as well as in other different locations that they're banned from. And so even you see that Obama, he has land in Hawaii as well, and he's banned from Russia now. A lot of the different celebrities, they spoke about the different fires that's going on, telling us to keep us in our prayers and everything like that. But I was talking to this lady, and she was saying how, you know, a lot of the people who are celebrities, they're not doing enough for their land. If this is their hometown, you know, prayers, it goes a long way. But if they have the finances and the resources to help these people who are on this land, giving them the place to stay on their acres and acres of farmlands and different homes, that'll be appreciative. These people can't even get to their houses, and they actually have it blocked off for some people who can get to their houses. She said it's this big black wall which is covering different houses and covering different areas, and they can't even get in. They have it blacked off with, and they have the FEMA there, so they're unable to get access to certain locations.
So this is the only Wi-Fi truck in all of the Napili Shopping Center.
Damn.
The third biggest hub on the west side, now that Lahaina is gone. The most people here, and this is the Wi-Fi. Why do they not want you to communicate with the rest of the world on the west side of Maui right now?
I'll tell you why, because of people like Captain Chris exposing that why are the supply lines blockaded and he has to go by boat with his local Kanakas and the local Hawaiians, exposing government blocking supply lines. That's just one thing. Maybe it's because of this gentleman who exposed he was on the highway driving and the cops routed him into Front Street and then blocked all the streets behind him. And you know what he had to do? Turn around, because there was no getting out of it. He had to drive around the cops illegally. They didn't want him to. They were trying to route him back into that crap, but this gentleman said in my previous videos, they blocked every street. Boom, boom, boom. Weird. He broke loose, went around them, and they chased him to his house. He didn't think nothing of it. He doesn't realize yet. It hasn't dawned on him yet what they did. But he knows that they corralled the people. He states it. They corralled the people. He just believes, because people are good-hearted, that this is just orders that's accidental. Does it seem accidental to you people out there? Oh, it gets way worse. Watch this one. Look at this. A shirt store. Watch.
I see a shirt survived.
Many shirts, all blue, with the price tags on them
Shirt
still.
survives a fire like that, I wonder. A shirt that says Sister Revolution. Hard to believe, huh? The whole building goes down. The whole
Real.
street goes down, and then these shirts survive somehow. The Sister Revolution. A lot of them, actually. It's crazy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna auction these shirts off. The last surviving apparel from Maui. These are gonna go auctioned. By the
Here's what you should do with those shirts. Keep them for evidence. You're gonna need it. Need a forensic audit going on. Why? This is why.
What if there's more to it? Let's delve into the science of lasers, or as they're ominously termed, dews. Why? Because there's something interesting about a specific shade of blue in these energy beams. Here's the science. Certain energy rays interact differently with various colors on the spectrum. Some colors are more resistant or reflective, protecting underlying materials from harm. Remember those untouched umbrellas amidst the Lahaina devastation? Skyscraping trees untouched by disaster can be explained away. But how do you justify these seemingly invincible umbrellas?
Not the umbrellas. The shirts. With a building imploded on itself. Look at it. There's nothing left. But there's blue shirts. Their tags are left because they were in between the shirts. Obviously, right? I mean, who doesn't have the chills running up their spine right now from seeing these shirts come out of a flattened structure? Blue shirts. Just look at everything. Just put all the pieces together. I just want you to know that you owe this to yourself to see the truth. Because if you turn a blind eye when truth is slapping you in the face, then you are consenting to what they're doing to these people. And the biggest truth of all is that there's no more fence to straddle. It's done. Because next time it's your town. And next time it's your child. And next time it's your business. And next time it's your community that's lost. So it is up to you, because nobody can exercise your free will. Nobody can align with the truth but you. And nobody can spread the message that you can. Because you are placed here right now for this very time, for this very purpose, to stand up. You feel it in your heart, don't you? Everybody does. I know everybody does, because you can feel it in the air. Everybody knows something's wrong. It's going on worldwide, these fires. And how can anyone explain this? There's nothing that can explain these blue shirts in a collapsed, imploded, totally destroyed building. Let's look at the building as we're walking back up. So this is the building. There ain't nothing left. There are the shirts right there. How is it possible? It's not just this. It's not just the umbrellas. Things that didn't burn. This guy's account right here is now being stalked and harassed. I wonder by who? All for his drone footage. Did you know that? The gentleman putting out all this drone footage is now being stalked, harassed, is in fear for his safety, for his family. Not for himself. He wants to speak the truth. He knows what it is. He knows it's dangerous, but he's doing it anyways. But look at that. Unscathed. Or that. How is that possible? Everybody knows this blue car. You know that blue car? People kept saying to me, that car was drove there. It wasn't drove there. That car ended there. Oh, look, there's one more blue car over there. But I'm going to have to say that these blue t-shirts, amongst this rubble from this shirt store, clearly because it has brand new tags on it, so that was someone's store. Now, those are the most obvious thing I've ever seen. It got the umbrella smoked out because it was literally in the rubble. Parts of it were smoking, but majority of the shirts were just fine. How is that possible? How is it possible? How do we, as a people, right, have this brain? God gave us this brain. It has a responsibility. The responsibility is what? To exercise your rights. That's what your responsibility is. Because anything else is consenting to what's playing around you. And maybe we've been indoctrinated to listen, to follow orders like we're seeing all over the place. Have you seen all the order following that people are just like, I'm only following orders? It makes a lot of sense how a lot of tragedies and genocides have happened over the, history.
So now that we are awake and aware and we know what they are doing, what are we going to do to stop them? We know that it's not a conspiracy, that it's not a coincidence. And this one brother who used to make videos on TikTok, RFG Chosen One, he was talking about how having the pyramid grids and crystal pyramids, putting them in our locations and have four corners covered, and it'd be like an energy grid to where their technology won't be able to harm us and everything with the protections, and how back in the ancients they used the pyramids for these specific things with technology. And I was thinking, like, that's good, but we also need to learn how to, with our minds, like put an energy force field around our cities, and also having our prayers covered in our cities, and find some way to hijack their technology, because we have to find some way to do without and protect ourselves without these tools, because like we're not always going to have the resources needed to get these certain things to protect ourselves, just like how you can use the different crystal organs to put on your phone to protect yourself from the radiation and the electromagnetic frequencies that come from the phone to protect it. But what if people can't afford to get that for their phone, or can't afford to have those big pyramid grids and big crystals and different things and other resources around their location to protect them? Are we just going to allow them to keep wiping us out like this? I was saying how they should be doing more financially for these people. It is very, like, it's a tragic situation, and a lot of us don't have the resources to support. But if you do, then you should be more than able to give as much money that you have, because you have more than enough for all of us combined. And so that's what I was just seeing with that situation. And then she was saying how FEMA is there, but they're staying at the Four Seasons. And I guess that's like one of the most like expensive resorts in Hawaii. And she said that, I kid you not, she said the FEMA people are actually out there in Hawaii on vacation at the Four Seasons and swimming in the pools and everything. And the people have no place to stay and are literally homeless and lost their homes. And it's just tragedy. And it's just terrible. And so people are like looking for their children, people in healthcare, the people on the front lines, the fire department, the police. Everybody's working overtime to try to help, and not getting much rest. And Biden actually did come, and he said he was going to give 700, or one time 700 to every family, some medication, different things like that. And she said they have not received the 700. So Biden, where is the 700 that you're supposed to give them? I know Ukraine got that billion or trillion and was living good, and still, probably getting resources and getting some help. But Hawaii is literally our country. That is something that the U.S. had bought, and it is known as a U.S. soil. And so it should be more help. It should be more resources given to these people. And so she said that they haven't received the 700. She said that Biden tried to compare the fire to him, saying that he almost had his Corvette burned up in a house fire. And I'm just like, they cannot be for real. Like, for real. You cannot be serious and not think this is okay. Like, a lot of people going through so much right now, and you're comparing your car almost burning up. And even that is blasphemy, because of the car and Charis, which is the Christ came from Charis. And also The Rock was somebody who spoke on it, and then the man who played Aquaman. And so we know that Lord is our rock, and also the man out of the sea. So they tried to use those names to speak out about what was going on in Hawaii, just so it can throw in some blasphemy. I even seen a house that looked like a pyramid on fire. The most part that was on fire was the top of the pyramid, which is the capstone that the Masons rejected, as well as them knocking it off. And so knocking the Most High off balance on the top of the altar, and the chosen ones and the saints and the Most High were supposed to be, and the Messiah, rebuilding the altar, getting to the top of the altar, and the fallen angels and the Masons are supposed to be putting the cat back on the top of the altar. but they don't want that. That's why they have us saying no cap. And I believe once the cap is back on the altar and everything is back in order, and people, and we climb the pyramids and we get back the land of our ancestors and the land of the creator, then this endless cycle matrix type of purgatory reality that we're living in will be able to be done with and be over. But they don't want that, because they want to continue. They want to keep the clown show going on. Oh yeah, so FEMA was there, has been helping, and they get a lot of their tourism, they get a lot of their money from people touring, the tourists coming, and they actually shut a lot of those things down, like a lot of the resorts, a lot of the hotels, a lot of the different traveling trips and different things like that, and kind of close Hawaii off so people don't come. So they're losing money that way as well. And I just thought that it was crazy that a lot of these places that are catching fire are all surrounded by water, like the New York and Canada fires that was going on, which I don't think was natural either. And now in Hawaii, and it's a whole attack on Mother Nature, because in order to be a new earth and new heaven, you have to vibrate on the frequency of Mother Nature. And so attacking that, and also trying to attack us, because we are extensions of the earth, and we are like elemental alchemy, being the body, being in the flesh, being from the soil, being from the earth, the blood being the water, the spirit of God's within us being the fire, and the breath we have to speak and to live through the lungs and everything is being the air. So it's an extension of us, and it's also destroying us that way. And the hellfire and destruction judgment that is to be coming, it's actually coming from the sky. It's either coming from the sun with the heating up and the solar flares, and also a meteor shower. It's not going to be coming from a pipeline. It's not going to be coming from any type of technology from the government that they've created in Area 51 that's going to bring fire. So they want to put it in their own hands, the Antichrist, the Antichrist, and all those powers that be, dealing with the fire magic that way. Like, it's gonna end on our terms, really. And so they also, she said it's been 4 days and nobody's able to come in, nobody's able to go out. They only let certain people on boats go in and out. And I had watched one video that was saying about how actually it was the land in Hawaii is very sacred, because it was a land of those, and some of the aboriginals, some of the natives, some of the Hawaiians. And also that movie, I forgot what movie it was, but it showed a goddess who was actually, her body, when she went to sleep, her body became the earth. So like all the petrified wood and all those things were other different beings and deities. And so it showed how the Hawaii was also a part of a titan.
People, here is a map of Hawaii Maui. Looks like a giant human converted to stone and sleeping. Now look at this. Pineal gland or third eye was on fire. The heart chakra location was on fire. Also here is human main energy chakra maps. Check the location of chakras and compare with Maui Hawaiian map here. Also, Maui is one of the main gateways, or Stargate on Earth. And if you watch the Mona cartoon, made by Disney, it will remind you this census.
The way that they attacked, the way the fires were different parts of the body, the spiritual body system, the different energy points that we were created with, the different chakra systems. And so that can also be effective how they want to affect us, and also how they want to kill off that being in spirit and take up the land for their agenda, which is the Agenda 2030, which is all technology systems, all technology cities. I seen this one vision. I was driving around in a car and everything was technology, like in those shows and those movies, which really tells us the truth of what they're planning and everything, with how they want the robots to rule and how they want everything to be technology wise, and we don't need humans really for anything but to enslave us to live off our energy and our frequency to get things moving, because free will is very powerful, manifestation is very powerful, and ones can co-create their reality, and so they need us to create the reality that they set for us. And so it was like all like really futuristic technology kind of businesses and places. And So that's what they planning for Hawaii, and this is what they're planning for the different islands, and starting there and targeting different cities so that there's no horticulture, there's no land, there's no people cannot claim their land. And this has a lot to do with the presidency that's going on as well, the elections and the propaganda. So shout out to this woman who gave me this information, and we had a really good talk. We was on the phone for probably like 2 hours. I was trying to get her phone set up at my job, and she just felt like God was wanting her to tell me all the things that's been going on, and I was asking questions because I knew that I needed to get a video out about what was going on. So she really gave me the tea and the 411 and let me know what was going on there, and I send all prayers to them, all power to them. I pray that they're restored. I pray that they get restitution, restoration, and all the agenda and the plans that these people are doing, the trafficking, the killing, taking of the land, the territory, the same thing they did here for the original aborigines of this land. And so it made me think about, now they're saying that Trump got arrested, and somewhere in the South, I don't remember, they saying he got arrested for tampering with the election. And so they're putting this all in the news, and they're letting us know this, and some people are happy about it. I found out about it by my Uber driver, and he was pretty excited about it, and I had to ask him, like, so what has Biden really have done for us? And he was saying how, well, have you noticed that you have more data on your phone? You don't go out and data. That's what Obama did for us. And then Biden has helped us out with some things. And I was like, I don't like both of them. I don't like either parties. I know that they switched the parties. First, it was Republican who were for us back in the 60s. He even told me a story that Martin Luther, they had his son in Alabama in jail and was going to kill him, and he was saying, like, okay, if I can get us to go Democrat, and because we were so-called black African Americans was first Republican, and they said if we can get them to go Democrat, then I will have a speech, connect people with the Caucasian, and make everything that he did that so that he can make a pact with them and get his son out of jail and also from being killed. And so a lot of these people who we think were civil rights activists and doing things like this, some of these people were straight up agents, and because at the end of their lives they decided to do right by us and tell the truth, like that speech he was going to give that night was going to tell the truth and let it be known of all the things that they was going on, and they took him out, and they had a lot of our people who are also agents in the boule working against each other set him up and take people out when they tried to do right by our people and do what God been telling them to do for a long time. Because I know, like, a lot of these people who's doing bad, I know that they got to be having encounters, dreams and visions and everything of the right things to do, and still they choose to do wrong. But so, like, the presidency, I think that they want us to start voting in November for the 2024 election. I try not to keep up with it because I used to be deep up in politics, and I was warning people about each president. They talk about the student loans will be taken off. My student loans are still there, so I got beef. And so also, like, now different laws that they put in place, like to bring slavery in Mississippi and other laws to take over the land. And I feel like all these treaties, these laws, these people done came over and took it in the beginning with some bland tea. They came over here with that unsweet tea and trying to make laws on the land. And because they pillaged the people of the land, the so-called originals, Native Americans, as well as different Africans that was already here, and different Hebrews that were here, they got order over the land because that was somebody's great-great-grandfather. And so the modern day Native Americans, they actually were like different people who they were able to give over the land to the slave masters, because that was basically their father or their great-great-grandfather, and that's how they claim the land. They blood in, they do it off of treaties and stuff like with the England and stuff to set up America. And Trump's talking about was supposed to be a symbol of the trumpets being blown in the Bible, but he's talking about, and even like his name connection with different people in the Bible. But I still remember when he was talking about grab a woman by the private parts, like, for real. He was all good when he gave us that money for them stimulus checks and stuff and things like that. But I feel like both sides is corrupt, and I can't give my energy to someone to continue to build this world how they want to build it. If we all boycott and say no and speak up and have our own power, then, you know, and say, you know, we're not doing Democrat or Democrat, we're not Republican, you know, we are identifying ourselves, you know, under the righteous rule or under the righteous laws of our ancestors or the laws of God, then, you know, we should be able to detach and be independent and know how to rule and run our own land and take care of our own land. And so when he says make America great again, I'm thinking like, when was it ever great? You know? And so not like and it might have been great when it was the Americanos or when it was the Aboriginal land and everything like that, but this white supremacy has been ruling. It's never been great. And so a lot of those things, a lot of the karma is coming back, you know, payment is due for a lot of the different innocent blood that was poured on this land and injustice that has been going on for years. And so a lot of people are fed up with that thing. And then it says the end of the days will come when the people who are enemies are against each other. And so now they're like turning swords on each other. They've all been working together in cahoots, but now they are attacking each other, blaming each other for certain things, and people are seeing jail time. And then it's also just propaganda, just so that they can get this election going and people can get riled up and have their emotions, their energy, and their frequencies involved in it, and so that they can really care and decide, oh yeah, we don't like how it's going, so we're going to go ahead and vote this person out. We're going to go ahead and vote this person out, which is also a big ritual and a soul harvesting type of agenda. And so I seen that all that has been going on at the same time, and so now they're putting that in the news to forget about the stuff that's going on in Hawaii, and the cosmic energy and the activations that's going on, where people supposed to be focusing on their developments, focusing on their spirit paths, their practices, focusing on the mission and the purpose that the Most High had gave them. And if we're not focused on that, then we're actually going to fail, and hellfire is going to rain down on here, and it is going to destroy our land, our people, if we don't be a voice and a whistleblower and let them know what's going on. You know, stop the chaos magic that they're putting out, and to get us to live in fear and all those different things that's going on. And it's a lot, but I just seen it so clearly, and I just knew that I had to get this video out. So like, you know, giving prayer, giving power, giving that shade to those in Hawaii, and just praying that they receive restoration and praying that we can get back the land. We have to know what's going on and get into the different laws that's going to read up on what they're doing. And even if we don't want to vote, make the intention, write it down, of the things that we want to see happen in this world, affecting the things that they're putting out. Because like I said, our free will is powerful, our energy is powerful. And so the reason why they do this voting, they want us to write it down and let them know in their own way who we want to rule over us and how we want the land to be. And speaking also sophisticated, so we don't really know what's going on. Because like, some of us have a short attention span, and we just like keep it simple, you know, so we can know what's going on around here. But you know, they using all these fancy words and legislations and everything, like talking politics and stuff, so that we don't know. But people in high places, they know what's really going on. They know their time is up. They know that they have a short time. So they're trying to gather up as much of resources that they need so that they can go on these islands, so that they can go underground, so that they can tear up the resources, so we don't have no earth inflation, so there is no finances in the kingdom of God, so there's no finances for us to build our own, to have farmland and to just have acres. And I'm just like, we never even got the 40 acres and a mule to begin with, you know, so it don't take much to give what was taken away, right? But those were first will be last, and everything that was stolen will be, when the thief be found, he must restore to us sevenfold what was stolen from us. And so everything will be returned. The inheritance is going to be returned. The land is going to be returned. Those of us who are chosen ones and powers, who were the different spiritual beings in high places with the Messiah and with the Most High, and even before that, generations doing it, we will be rising, and we will be getting everything that we were supposed to be getting from the beginning. So yeah, that was my video. Putting light to the darkness and balance to the light. I pray to you and yours, and protecting and directed. Shalom and peace. And so yeah, shout out to this woman. Her name was Natasha Crystal Lynn, and she also is a baker, and she was telling me how she had made 300 cupcakes or 300 desserts, I believe, to the people in Hawaii so that they can have food and stuff like that. And they don't have a lot of resources, but she's a baker and she went out her way. And she also, I'm gonna put her Instagram in here because she also puts her stuff up on Instagram. And if you could support her and give to the people into Hawaii, GoFundMes that you come across, just really, you know, helping them out when they're needed the most. And so yeah, just shout out to her. Really love to her, and just thankful that she let me know what's going on so I can let people know what's going on, and we can all come together and to end this new world order.
It will focus the sun's beam in a deadly ray.
Umbrellas and trees untouched.
So this is what we're gonna go after. These umbrellas right here. Got all the devastation right next to it, but we got these umbrellas and these trees.
First off, I'd like to thank the good people.
Our ass, and this is what we get. Nobody called us. Our phones didn't work from 5 in the morning. The fire was not 10 o'clock when I went to work. The fire was still there. There was no water. We busted our ass, and this is what we get. Nobody called us. Our phones didn't work from 5 in the morning. The fire was not 10 o'clock when I went to work. The fire was still there. There was no water. Tell me if that's coincidence. No water, no warning. And everybody talking about the satellite city before the fire. Lahaina gonna be the first satellite city. Well, hey, Jeff Bezos, you got what you wanted. Oprah, you got what you wanted. And the guy who owns the nut, you got what you wanted. Fuck us all over. That's what happened. Okay. We need help in Lahaina. Who's gonna come now and ask us, can I pray for you, Auntie?
Thank you.
Can I help you with your paperwork? Because all we got so far was $700, and we don't know who to call or anything. It's culturally insensitive in that zone. We